Hip-hop history is going to be upended by this wedding bombshell, ladies and gents. What if we told you the fabled love tale you believe to be true? The prison survivor ride-or-die folktale of Papoose and Remy Ma in actuality, bids, and reality. TV were founded on a huge deception. Because Papoose might have lawfully wed Claressa Shields while Remy Ma was imprisoned, based on a number of recently obtained images, receipts, and an unnamed Vegas chapel employee. Yes, you heard correctly. It is a full-fledged, until death do us part arrangement that has allegedly been concealed for more than 10 years under fictitious names, NDAs, and one marriage license that appears to be missing. The pictures have now been leaked. Rose petals, a white dress and matching tux, and a man wearing a Yankees suit who resembles Mr. Loyalty himself saying, "I do, but not to Remy." Could this be the biggest treachery in the history of hip-hop marriages? Or is there more to the tale than Remy was aware of? Hold on tight, because we're going to reveal the industry-shaking secret wedding and the unexpected woman. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to reconsider your assumptions about loyalty. Because it's more than just a betrayal that we're about to reveal. One of the most revered love stories in hip-hop has been completely rewritten. For Papoose and Remy Ma were cited as the model throughout the globe for years. She served her sentence, and he waited. As the ultimate ride-or-die, she publicly complimented him. They were covered by magazines. They were romanticized by reality TV. Fans, on the other hand, took it as gospel. However, when Remy was incarcerated and serving her time at the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, something was taking place in the dark. Nobody ever saw it coming, not even her closest friends, her fans, or the industry. Claressa Shields comes on. We are all familiar with Claressa, the two-time Olympian, gold medalist, one of the most audacious voices in athletics, and the self-described greatest woman in history. In 2010, she was supposedly playing a completely different style of match, which most people were unaware of. And her teammate on the tag team, none in addition to Papoose. The two were seen working together informally at the time. Training camps, charitable events, and occasional cameos. Nothing too troubling, just love for the community. Or so we believed. But what if we told you that Papoose and Claressa were organizing a covert wedding in Las Vegas while Remy was imprisoned in a cell, waiting down the days until she could see her guy again? That is what is currently being said. Thanks to a recently obtained collection of hazy time-stamped wedding pictures, which appear to depict Papoose and Claressa standing at the altar in a fast-paced Vegas church with a preacher, a bouquet, and in the backdrop what appears to be a hired Rolls-Royce. The groom is seen grinning unmistakably in one blurry but telling picture while wearing a Yankees cap. The bride, dressed in white, is hanging boxing gloves from her bouquet. It's a strange coincidence if it's not them. However, if it is, the loyalty narrative that we have all been following for more than 10 years simply collapsed in real time. Let's go back in time. How did we arrive here? In 2008, Remy Ma received an 8-year prison sentence for assault. Papoose went public right away, promising to support her and even making an effort to be married to her while she was in prison. Despite the fact that the ceremony was well known as off after he was allegedly apprehended attempting to enter the prison using a handcuff key. That did indeed occur. The narrative gets more complicated here, though. Documents that have lately come to light via a whistleblower blog state that we will contact her at the tea is boiling. Papoose traveled to Nevada several times between 2010 and 2011 under his real legal name, Shamal Mackey. He reportedly stayed at a boutique hotel during one of these visits, which was only 5 minutes from the notorious A Little White Chapel. The identical chapel that may be seen in the wedding pictures that have been leaked. What's even more suspicious is a woman with the name C who fits Claressa Shields' description. According to reports, Brown scheduled a hair and makeup session on the same day at a local salon. Cash was used to pay for the June 4, 2011, leaked receipt, which also included a letter. Gorgeous wedding. Please, no pictures. A coincidence? You inform us. However, it doesn't stop there. "What happens in Vegas changes everything," says a private post from Clarissa's since-deleted Facebook profile 2 weeks after that date. Perhaps harmless, but in light of what we now know, it feels like a digital breadcrumb, especially when paired with another recently discovered photo of Claressa performing in a June training video with what looks to be a wedding band. Fans dismissed it as a fashion ring on the 15th of 2011, but now people are examining it closely, as if it were the Zapruder movie. Where was Remy Ma throughout this alleged period? There isn't a marriage license on public record under their known identities, but sources say that they were sitting in prison, alone, creating rhymes, and waiting for the man who vowed to remain faithful while the system kept them apart. When couples want private ceremonies, officials in some Vegas chapels may use aliases, initials, or nicknames, according to sources, including a former Nevada court clerk who spoke on condition of anonymity. One insider even said they discovered a handwritten ledger with the names S. on a page titled, "Private File, No Press, Mackey and C. Brown signed." Could that be them? Could Papoose have actually married Claressa while the world hailed him as the most devoted man in hip-hop? More significantly, did Remy Ma know? One of her ex-boyfriends and fellow hip-hop artists, who wished to remain anonymous, claims that Remy always had this tension around it all makes sense now. Not to mention Papoose and Claressa, who never explicitly stated it but had a cold vibe and didn't like the girl near Pap. Claressa's friendship did not stop in 2011. Fans deemed it innocuous at the time, but they have since been seen together at events, in interviews, and even at that contentious 2022 boxing fundraiser where the two got way too close during the after-party. Now that I think about it, that was most likely Mr. and Mrs. Vegas reunion. Still not convinced? Then tell me why Remy Ma has never been in a picture with not once, not on red carpets, not backstage, not at public gatherings, Claressa. In fact, when Claressa won BET Sportswoman of the Year, Papoose Remy apparently departed the theater early after being applauded from the second row. This wasn't a coincidence, there was smoke, and as we say at Gossip Spill vibe, where there's smoke, there's here's where we stand. Wedding images have emerged, aliases match travel and booking records, and a handwritten chapel ledger places S in the background of what is often a messy covert Vegas wedding. Don't go anywhere, though, because Mackey and C. Brown were at the right place at the right time, and the so-called Queen of Fidelity might have been the last to realize she was acting as a second wife the entire time. If this marriage was real, someone would have had to pay to make it disappear, so what do you do when your underground Vegas wedding from more than 10 years ago ends up looking even more ugly? Appears out of nowhere and the lady you married back then happens to be your current wife's rival? If you're Papoose, you don't seem to say anything. Yes, ever since those wedding pictures were leaked, the blurry bouquet picture, the with the famed boxing gloves in the bouquet moment and the fitting capgroom at the altar, Papoose has entirely disappeared. He hasn't tweeted, freestyled, or made any public appearances, and for a man who often raps about loyalty every day, that quiet is deafening every time he blinks, but don't worry, the internet has filled the hole. Let's start with the leaks. Because additional receipts have surfaced since those Vegas photographs were released. Began appearing inexplicably, as if the documents were in a scandal folder waiting to be opened. According to a recent leak by the infamous blog Shade Surgical, it shows a marriage certificate stub, not the entire document, but a torn-off section of a Las Vegas. The clerk's name has been removed from the wedding form dated June 4, 2011, which is stamped with the letters SM and CB. The witness's signature is disputed, but the address is 16001 Las Vegas Boulevard, which is the exact address of a small white church. Even more intriguing, the blog says it has a conversation with a retired wedding photographer who attests to a rapper couple from New York paying him $2,000 in cash for a photo session with no questions asked and no digital backups. He had me take a picture of her wearing her gloves, and then he said, groom, medium height, black hoodie, New York accent, super intense about keeping it off social media. Let's be honest, that could describe half the industry. In the meantime, another leak, this one from an unnamed former assistant, claims that Papoose and Claressa shared a joint. They said it was symbolic and, guess what? Boxing gloves. This whistleblower said that a bank account that had been temporarily opened in the summer of 2011 was canceled a few months after being discovered during a normal IRS examination, citing odd transaction history as the explanation. Wait, the story gets more complicated. The assistant says that one of the transfers was marked as CR wedding expenditures. A severely altered voicemail, a voice that sounds uncannily similar to Papoose, says, "I never meant for it to get that far," in a purported burner phone recording that is currently making the rounds on forums and gossip pages. "I simply believed I owed her something for keeping me in check. There's no way I'd ever know. Could it be AI now? Extremely phony? Yes. However, the timing is simply too good. And, let's face it, evidence is not required in a court of popular opinion. Drama is required." Additionally, Claressa Shields has been subtly criticizing Papoose for days while she is keeping quiet. 2 nights ago, the boxing champion shared a mysterious selfie. Full glam, location tag, Sin City, no caption. Supporters went crazy. She posted a slow-motion video of herself training with gloves hitting a few hours later. Some punches land harder than others. The bag and the comment section was crowded with Remy fans demanding answers, while Claressa coolly liked a few dubious responses, including one that said, "Been yours since 2011 sis worse, not a single denial, not a single fake news, not even a y'all wild, just quiet assurance, as if someone knows the truth is finally out and doesn't mind seeing it burn." As the internet analyzed each frame of those wedding pictures, they discovered something else. The first time, no one noticed this detail. One of the pictures that was leaked showed the bride's there is a tattoo on the left arm that is partially hidden by lace but is still noticeable. It is a boxing ring with the number 2 inside. As you are probably aware, Claressa goes by T-Rex 2.0, and in several interviews, she has explained she received the exact same design after taking home her second gold medal. Here's the catch, though. The fact that she received the second medal in 2016 suggests that either the images are more recent than people thought or the tattoo was applied later. And if that's the case, this covert wedding in Vegas might have taken place much more recently than in 2011. Real-time cheating, not heartache while incarcerated, occurred when Remy and Pap were married. Presenting Jasmine Dior. Yes, Jasmine. The daughter of the person who was allegedly shot by Ray. The courtroom firestarter is now a full-time, unaccountable media troll. Just yesterday, Jasmine went live, adding fuel to the fire. "You're upset at Claressa, but the truth is that Remy isn't the first and she's by no means the only one. Since before some of you had iPhones, Pap has been playing house with gloves." Then, hinting at yet another shocking revelation, watch the 2022 Fight Night video. Notice who drove Claressa to the weigh-in? It wasn't her coach. Internet detectives started looking right away, and sure enough, grainy fans recorded the event. Seems to depict Papoose driving the black SUV that dropped Claressa off at the MGM Grand. Is this a coincidence or confirmation? Remy Ma's camp has gone completely silent. Fans don't believe her when she says in a one-line statement that she's concentrating on her next projects and won't be addressing unfounded accusations. In fact, the hashtag Remy was second has been trending for 48 hours in a row. Nowadays, Twitter's timeline is a battleground for conspiracy theories, modified wedding invitations that say things like Mr. Yes, while wifey was doing time, Mrs. Gloves. This is where things start to get really crazy. In a private legal forum, an anonymous divorce lawyer, purportedly from New Jersey, stated that Papoose had recently inquired about canceling a dormant Nevada marriage certificate. They did not identify the other party, but they did state that the client worried about overlapping legal status, which would mean that he was publicly married to Remy but still legally married to Claressa. Ladies and gentlemen, if that's the case, it's bigamy, not just treachery, a crime, a felony, the type of legal quagmire that causes Instagram biographies to change overnight and prenuptial agreements to burn. In case you were wondering, fans have already checked, and Remy still has Mrs. Mackey in her bio for the time being, but given the smoke, let's just say that she may soon be altering more than just her caption. If a fairy tale dies, it does so in a loud, public, and excruciatingly messy manner. The dominoes have started to fall, not just for Papoose but also for Remy Ma, whose meticulously restored business is now in danger of collapsing as the internet continues to unearth the scandals surrounding his purported covert Vegas marriage. To Claressa Shields. If you thought this was just celebrity drama, you're mistaken. What began as back alley rumors and shaky wedding leaks has now turned into a full-fledged court battle, a brand boycott, and a last turn of events that nobody, not even Remy, anticipated. Let's start with the legal tempest. Remy Ma's legal team is apparently getting ready to submit a petition to the New York Superior Court, according to a number of legal analysts, by which we mean bloggers with law degrees from Google, requesting information regarding Papoose's marital status in order to ascertain whether the purported Vegas marriage to Claressa was ever formally dissolved. The worst part is that if it wasn't, Remy and fans have been celebrating Papoose's marriage for almost 10 years, yet it may be deemed worthless and not genuine in 2016 because of bigamy, a crime that carries a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison. If it is shown that Papoose intentionally concealed this information during his formal marriage to Remy, she may seek civil penalties, including financial fines, and in certain countries, he may even be charged with a crime, damages, and the redistribution of assets. According to the Vibe report, an unnamed source close to Remy said, she's angry not just because he cheated, but because he played with her name, her legacy. She strengthened him, and she now appears to be this man's fallback option. She is not alone, though, in wanting to put the fallout behind her. 2 of Ray's commercial agreements have dissolved in the days after the revelation. Her promotional images were covertly taken down from the homepage of a big cosmetics brand that was about to launch a Bronx royalty palette. Remy and Pap Rebuilding the Empire, a spin-off reality show, has been put on indefinite pause. Industry insiders claim that sponsors are shaken behind the scenes. Not because of Remy's actions, but rather because they don't know how much more will be revealed soon. And they have good reason to be concerned given the turmoil in the courtroom is not finished. Claressa Shields was subpoenaed just this week to testify in a different civil case concerning Papoose's alleged false representation of her marital status in a business transaction. The case, a 2021 PAP allegedly filed as unmarried under the terms of the joint endorsement contract, which, if found to be untrue, might now be seen as contractual fraud. Therefore, in addition to ruining reputations, this drama has the potential to nullify previous agreements, cost millions, and draw IRS attention if financial documents connected to that covert union are discovered. The public's reaction is exploding in the meantime. The comment sections of Remy Ma have become virtual battlefields. Advocates swarm Claressa's postings with heart-shaped emojis and comments like, "You deserved better, sis." Meanwhile, trolls, who are frequently thought to be Claressa's supporters, pour in comments like, "Should have known Pap was the champ's prize." However, it's not its family, not just fans. In a startling turn of events, one of Papoose's own cousins, who has 20,000 verified followers on Twitter, posted a now viral thread saying, "Let's just say some of us were aware of the trip to Vegas, but I'm not talking about family business. That was vows, not just a vacation." 2 hours later, the post was removed. Screenshots, however, are immortal. Next came the last turn. The turning point in this scandal's development from a betrayal to a full-fledged betrayal movie universe. Late Wednesday night, a fresh leaked photo came to light. Nor from Claressa's, nor from Vegas Instagram, but from a woman called Claressa Shields' private Facebook account. Claressa's cousin, allegedly. The image is from a 2014 toddler birthday celebration. Additionally, in the corner of that picture of Papoose grinning while carrying a young boy. Here's the jaw-dropper, though. Within hours, there were speculations that the child was sporting a t-shirt that read, "My daddy's a champ," and the cake decorated with the name CJ. Spread like a wildfire. With Claressa Shields, does Papoose have a secret child? Did Remy ever find out, if at all? To be clear, there is no documentation, no paternity test, and no proof of parentage, yet Claressa hasn't rejected the picture. Indeed, in response to a question posed by a Twitter follower, she said, "Mind yours." And there it is. Let's dissect this, then. Wedding pictures that were leaked from Vegas. It has been confirmed that chapel will feature Papoose and Claressa in 2011, or perhaps later. Tattoos, receipts, and aliases fit the chronology of a covert marriage. It shows Claressa showing off her strength, sending cryptic messages, and grinning through it all. Papoose was mute. Remy is upset, humiliated, and reportedly speaking with divorce lawyers right now. And now there may be a child involved. There is more to this than just a scandal, ladies and gentlemen. It's a breakdown of legacy. Papoose was praised for years as hip-hop's ideal husband, the gold standard, and the devoted monarch who waited, helped, and never left. He might be remembered as something different now, though. The man who escorted Remy down the aisle had already given his ring and possibly his child to another woman. The question today is, was the loyalty ever genuine? Or have Remy Ma and the rest of us been given a nicely constructed lie? One manufactured red carpet, one TV interview, and one love song at a time. Because the facts, the chapel ledger, the leaked Vegas photos, the toddler wearing the champ shirt, paint an image that is impossible for even the most devoted Remy fan to ignore. A photo in which she might not have been restrained by Papoose. At the altar, he might have been clutching someone else's hand. What about Claressa? Did she ever act like a homie? Or, ever since Remy turned herself in, has she been sporting that invisible ring? What's more, how many of their neighbors knew? We'd like to hear from you in the remarks. Do you think the marriage in Vegas was real? Is the child in the leaked birthday picture Papoose's? Does Remy have to pardon him? Or is this betrayal irreparable? What additional mysteries lie under the Mackey family's vault if this tale is only the start? Let's work together to unravel this. Give up your most irrational theories. Add your pals. This is more than just celebrity rumors, so start a comment war. We are seeing the unraveling of history. Additionally, remember to hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell because we'll show you whether you believe this was explosive. What transpired following that courtroom Jasmine Dior's reunion? Have faith in us, the atmosphere of a gossip dump is just comforting.